Yo, what is going on, Cover One Crew? Welcome back to the show. Everybody is good as always. I'm awesome because we're diving back into fantasy football. This on the bounce back with running backs. I got 3 players on my board with a potential bounce back season for what they had last year, what they endured last year. Some of it was circumstantial in terms of injuries, so they lost their season, which isn't necessarily their fault, just the kick of the can of how it did go down. But some of these guys definitely do have a lot of upside, some that we have a big time question marks on, and could they save a season, and are they worth a late round flyer or a mid round flyer in your fantasy drafts to at least, put on your bench and hope for the best that you could rotate them in and they could be something decently special. I mean, it is bounce back, so there is question marks. Before we get started, Cover One Fantasy Football Draft Guide. Get ready for this thing, man. Chock full of goodies for you guys to get started to, start to win those championships. 300-plus player profiles. We got rankings for Dynasty and Redraft, rookie profiles. We got my guys on the list. Boom bust consistency rates for every player. I'm telling y'all, this thing is amazing. It's going to be on sale very soon. We'll have some giveaways and everything for all y'all, so stay tuned for that June release date. You understand where it's coming. Let's talk these running backs. Got Isaiah Pacheco, first one on my board. And there was a lot of issues with an Isaiah Pacheco last year. A lot of people did have a big-time hype train on the man, believing he was going to be the next best thing. Since sliced bread, I did have a show said, cautioning Isaiah Pacheco simply because of the violent nature of the running back. Risk to injury is always massive if your name is not Derrick Henry and you run as violently as somebody like Isaiah Pacheco does. Yes, it's not a hard, fast rule. There are exceptions to the rule, but somebody like Isaiah Pacheco, he is talented. He is good, but I'm telling y'all, man, he runs so violently, initiates contact. That's my biggest problem that I have with this man. Lost last season to that leg injury, and that is a big problem. There could be issues this year as well, where he could be, find his way back into that medical room. They say he's healthy, and when he is healthy, he is a very talented specimen. But again, can you rely on him where they wanted to be drafted last year in that top 15? I was not having it. Where we sit today on the ADP at running back 26, now we're in a better argument where we could say he is that running back 3-4 for us in fantasy football, which we could actually say, yeah, he could be a decent rotational piece for us, and if he does excel and exceed where his placement is, it's all the better. Last year finished as the running back 63, 50.9 points in only 7 games, 11.8 on the boom consistency rate. Not good, man, and this is because due in part to the fact that he did lose the season to that injury. We know this. This year moving forward, more split touches now with Elijah Mitchell, Brashad Smith, other running backs that they are bringing in. Absolutely, it is very, very possible that this could happen this season where they do more of a split tandem approach in this backfield to keep an Isaiah Pacheco, a little bit more healthy this year. Mitchell's got his own issues when it comes to injury. Brashard Smith is that elusive running back that I think could make a lot of noise in this Kansas City Chiefs offense. He will take over that Jerick McKinnon role, and I think he's so much better than a Jerick McKinnon. The elusive ability, the speed, and the fact that Brashard Smith was a former wide receiver convert into a running back definitely is going to say it, man. ADP drop, it's good for ROI. This is what I'm saying, where he was, a top 15 running back. Now he's sitting at running back 26. I'm all in on this, man. KC, they did have their lowest statistical output in the Patrick Mahomes era last year. This was a concern. Their offense just could not get going. Will we see a bounce back? Rashee Rice likely back this year as well due to that injury. Also added another wide receiver in Royals. So, I'm telling y'all right now, there is, maybe a lower ceiling for the top end point totals for a Pacheco, but this offense in Kansas City should be that much better in 2025 in terms of roster construction and where we see a man, Mahomes, Pacheco, Kareem Hunt. Like I said, Kareem Hunt's in the mix as well with a Brashard Smith, with an Elijah Mitchell. So there are a lot of mouths where these Chiefs understand that they can't go into the season without having a multitude of running backs to at least spread the football around. Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice coming back, like I said, from his injury. We'll see how he does pan out. And then Jalen Royals, rookie, along with an aging Travis Kelce, is your Kansas City Chiefs offense this year. Mid-level risk for me. Split touches and injury risk for a Pacheco, but where he does sit in terms of his ADP, I do not dislike, and I think that there is value this year on a bounce back for an Isaiah Pacheco. Next one is Travis Etienne. I know a lot of y'all are scoffing at this man as well. I am too at this point, man. Underwhelming 2024 season. He lost a lot of touches to a Tank Bigsby. We got the new regime, head coach and general manager, and they went and drafted themselves a Tootin. He is a very talented running back as well. Lots of rumor this offseason of a potential trade for Etienne, trying to get him off the roster. And I mean, should he still be the starter coming into camp? I do believe so, but it's going to be his job to lose. And I mean, he's still got a lot of skill, a lot of talent, still super explosive upside, but it is a very much crowded backfield. Loss of touches could come, and they could be done with this running back. This coaching staff and regime could be, looking for the ways to get Tootin and Bigsby more carries and try to ship an Etienne out. This year, his ADP has definitely fallen through the floor. Running back 35, where he finished last year as a running back 36. So all the consensus is hedge betting on the fact that he's not going to necessarily do better than his ADP. I think he can do better than his ADP. It just depends on the situation here in Jacksonville if they want him to be that guy that they're looking for. He only had 33% on that boom rate last year. Definitely was not a good season. 110.7 points in 15 games. Like I said, very difficult season for Travis Etienne. Yes, the Trevor Lawrence injury did, buck the cause as well for him. Offensive line issues were not there. Tank Bigsby got more carries and touches as the season wore on. So a lot of negative things did happen for Etienne. Some fumble issues did come for this man as well. But what is his role going to be? We got Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby, a Tootin, the rookie, like I said. We got a Brian Thomas Jr. to team up with a Travis Hunter. Massive upside in these wide receivers, in this wide receiver room. They added a Diami Brown, so it is going to be a nice 1-2 punch between a Brian Thomas Jr. and a Travis Hunter. And who's going to pick up the steam when it comes to the running back? Could we see a triple-headed monster? We definitely could, and that will be a big-time problem when it comes to touches and, reliability for a Travis Etienne, that much more. And then Bretton Strange being that tight end with no more Evan Ingram. So this year, I mean, new regime, are they going to move on from a Travis Etienne? It is highly likely. Could we see him this be his last season? 100%. I don't foresee him coming back to Jacksonville. Could we see him traded off this roster before the season starts? There is potential in that as well. If a running back goes down with injury and someone makes a phone call, wants Etienne, I think that would be the best news for his value this year. So as he stays on these Jacksonville Jaguars, 2025 risk rank for me is mid to high level risk. New regime, how do they want to move this offense? What are they going to do? How are they going to institute an Etienne? We shall see, but the fact that they handpicked a Tootin out of this draft, I first see them wanting to use him and a Tank Bigsby quite a bit this year. Last one on the board is a Javonte Williams. Vontae, my guy, absolutely love Vontae coming out of North Carolina. He says he feels like his old self again. Strong, fast, fully recovered. He lost time to that knee injury, and he never fully recovered with those Denver Broncos. That's kind of why we see him needing a change of scenery. Last year, ADP was 30, or this year, sorry, ADP is 38. Last year's rank was running back 31, 131.9 points in 17 contests. Just not good enough. A lot of people were thinking under Sean Payton it was going to be a nice magical conjunction of yardage, touchdowns, and usage. Definitely was not the case. He takes his talents to these Dallas Cowboys. Like I said, only 18% on that boom rate. He was not a good player for us last year, but I love the landing spot. I love the potential where he could potentially be the lead back in this Dallas Cowboys offense that has a lot of playmakers of their own as well. And if he says that he feels like he's back to his old self, I'm all ears. It's been back. I'm listening because I do believe him, man. He needs, typically coming off an ACL, you're going to need a few years to get back to yourself. This is the year that we could see Vontae come back in a very big way. However, Dallas does have potential O-line issues. That is an issue as well. Dak Prescott coming back from his injury. Will he be able to be reliable and stay on the field as well? Will they utilize all the running backs that they did have? Volume upside for Javonte is definitely here on this offense. No more Rico Suave, Rico Dwaddle. He's out the door. They got a triple-headed monster now in this backfield with a rookie, Jaden Blue, the blueprint, baby. He's my boy. You guys know this. You watch my shows. Love me some Jaden Blue. And they got some Miles Sanders. So, I mean, it's basically, for me, in my opinion right now, it's Javonte's job to lose this year. And if he can prove it, they will sign him to a long-term deal. But Jaden Blue definitely drafted. He's got the speed capabilities. Could be a beautiful change of pace with a Javonte, with a Jaden Blue, and then mixed in with some Miles Sanders as well. Split backfield is definitely coming. They're going to utilize all these backs that they can to make mismatches and protect a Dak Prescott that much more. You absolutely got to believe it. Rookie Blue, he's going to get on that field earlier earlier than a lot of people do think and suggest, and where his ADP is at right now for a Javonte at running back 38. This is like stealing candy from a baby. You absolutely love it, man. There's going to be a lot of upside to potential returns where he could even crack a top 25 finish this season if the volume upside is key. When it comes to this roster, like I said, Dak Prescott, Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, we got Miles Sanders, then we got CeeDee Lamb, the big trade for a George Pickens. Is going to absolutely open up a lot of things in this pass game. Will open up a lot of ththings in this run game. It finishes with a Jalen Tolbert, Jake Ferguson, and then a Luke Schoonmaker who could make some noise as well. We could see some more, 12-man personnel, double tight end sets as well in this offense this year. Got to protect a Dak Prescott so he does not find his way back into that medical room that much more. 25 risk rank for me is mid to low level risk. Based on where you can grab him at running back 38, there's legitimately no risk, man. Even if he does fail you, if he does bomb once again, and we're going to start talking and say, we're done with Vontae after this season if he doesn't show it, I'm with you. I get it. But this year at running back 38, you can stash him on your bench, and if he starts to pile up the points, you got yourself a decent running back 2-3 on your roster, not only for usage or trade potential on your fantasy team. Safe bounce back season definitely is on the docket for a Javonte Williams. But there you have it. That is my 3 potential bounce back running backs. Like I said, gave you a little bit of the both. Can they be the guy? Should we avoid them? I mean, there is some issues, but these 3 gentlemen, they are ones big time to have a bounce back year for people to trust. Otherwise, they will be null and void in fantasy football moving forward, and I don't blame y'all, but Javonte Williams is definitely one of my sneaky ones this year, man. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. What are you thinking of these 3 backs? You in, you out? Tell me why. Throw it in the comments, and we can see you next time. I am out.